I always love listening to Nick Wright, First Things First on Fox Sports 1. And I agree with a lot of things that he says. And then Fritzy goes, Nick Wright's got a problem with you. I go, okay. So what's the problem, Nick? I hear you don't like the picture we use when we're promoting the fact that you're going to be on our show.
Well, listen, I mean, I've been on TV a few years. I've been a semi-public person for the better part of a decade. You have a lot of pictures to choose from, yet you choose one where I have a shaved head and a double chin. And I feel like this is intentional. I mean, you have a army of team around you, mountain of resources. There's a lot of images, some flattering, some not, and some the one you chose. So, yeah, I do have a bit of a problem with that.
Okay.
Somewhat.
So you think that I went out of my way to make you look bad?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to name names here, but there is an all-time Pantheon great sports radio host who I believe once upon a time back in the day used to intentionally choose bad fill-in hosts. So when he came back, people were like, oh my God, you're the greatest. I think Dan Patrick chooses ill-fitting pictures for his guests. So it's like, man, even in his older years, that Dan Patrick, that's a good-looking guy.
Nick, you chose boldness. I didn't. You chose
I shaved my head to add an edginess to me, and it rose me to the heights I have since. And then I grew my hair out. That's what happened.
I was afraid of bold Nick. I'm not afraid of this, Nick.
Yeah, I know. I'm soft.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, you are soft. I got on a rant here. I was wondering, and let's say when Durant is done, Steph Curry's done, like, are they top 10 players of all time? And if so, who are we taking out? Because we can't have 15 guys in the top 10.
That is, Dan, what a wonderful question. Because I just completed, I haven't yet released it, a project I've been working on for a year, the 50 best players of the last 50 years.
Okay.
So Kareem to now.
Okay.
So Wilt, Russell, Elgin, Oscar, Jerry, Mike, and those guys are not being included. And on that list, Durant is 12, Steph is 13. So ahead of them, Dr. J, Moses, Shaq, I'm going kind of in reverse order, 12 to 1. Shaq, Akeem, Bird, Kobe, Duncan, Magic, Kareem, Michael, LeBron. There might have been one name I left, so I'm doing it off the top of my head. But Durant's 12, Steph is 13, according to that. No, I don't. And if you include Wilt and Russell and Jerry West and Oscar, you got to move each of those guys down another 4 spots. So no, I don't think it's likely for either of those guys to become top 10 of all time. And if we're just doing the modern era, I think they could, but like you got to move past Dr. J and Moses Malone. And then you got to move past Shaq or Akeem just to get to the top 10, at least in my eyes. I think Dr. J is totally underrated, but that's neither here nor there.
I saw him play against the Kentucky Colonels and ABA.
Yeah. And that's why he's underrated.
Oh my gosh. Like whenever he would play against the Nuggets, I always felt bad for Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was supposed to be this defensive star. And Dr. J left his great game on the playgrounds and in the ABA. And then what we got in Philadelphia, you got to see glimpses when they lost to the Blazers in the NBA Finals. And Doc was so unbelievable in the NBA Finals. But I'm with you. I don't know why he doesn't get recognized as one of the top 10, 15 players of all time. Because
listen, he was in the ABA, and it is off the top of my head. I think he won 3 ABA MVPs. I think he won they didn't have a ABA Finals MVP award. They had a playoff MVP award. He won 2 or 3 of those. He won championships there. And when he got to Philly, he did take them to 4 NBA Finals, at least 3 NBA Finals. They couldn't get over the hump, but they were up against awesome teams. And then once Moses joins him, that might be the greatest team ever. 83 Sixers, 86 Celtics, 01 Lakers, 2017 Warriors are like, all in the argument. And I'm probably leaving out one of the Showtime Lakers. So yeah, but it's because his career is split. the NFL comp I would give, not that this is a top 10 guy, 12 guy of all time. Warren Moon is historically underrated because we just were like, he played in the CFL and was great there. It's like, no, he was the best player in the league by a mile when he was there. That's what Dr. J was.
Yeah, Dr. J, it's almost like he got to the NBA. It's like Kareem in the 70s, Kareem in the 80s. It was a different player, and you don't realize how dominating Kareem was when he first got to Milwaukee. A couple of things here. Better chance to reach the NBA final. I'm going to bounce around here.
Yeah, please.
Better chance to reach the finals, the Nets or the Sixers?
Sixers. Here's the thing with the Nets. The Nets are going to have the number one offense in basketball. I'd be shocked if they even have the number two offense. Their offense is going to be so dynamic, and Joe Harris is going to become a household name because he's going to hit a million open threes. They are going to have a bottom 5, not 10, not 15, a bottom 5 defense. And I don't know how you solve it. I just don't know. And you can't win multiple playoff rounds with that type of defense. There's no historical precedent for it. The Sixers, on the other hand, I think are going to be good right off the bat, but their plan B is acquire James Harden. So it's like they're either going to be really good, or if they're not, you just go acquire James Harden because there's not going to be a package for him better than Ben Simmons. So and Embiid, if you look at Embiid's statistical profile and remove last year, he looks like he's going to be a 30 and 15 guy. 2 years ago, Embiid was 28, 14, 2.5 blocks, went to game 7, against Kawhi and the Raptors. They lose on a bucket. He could have made the finals a couple years ago. Last year was a down year for him. Luka is who I would bet on and who I did bet on. The NBA won't give me a vote for awards, which is really criminal. There should be an investigation. But since I don't have one, I can gamble on it. So I bet a lot of money on Luka. But if Luka doesn't win it, my pick would be Durant and then Embiid would be the top 3.
Yeah, I might go Durant as well. And I don't know if there's Greek freak fatigue.
He can't win it.
No way.
Right?
Well, I'm guessing he probably can't because, okay, let's say he averages what he averaged or improves a little bit and their best record in basketball. We've seen all of these things, and it feels like the voters want something new.
And like in the last 50 years, the only guy to win 3 in a row was Bird, and Bird was doing it in the midst of winning titles.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, he's just the best player in the league on the best team. I think that one of the reasons I like Luka is I think Giannis could average 34, 17, and 6 and won't win it. Harden, no chance at winning it. He's in it every year, but I feel like nobody's going to reward how that's gone, right?
Yeah.
LeBron is going to play fewer games this year than maybe he has at any point in his career. Anthony Davis, it's hard for me to believe voters at the end of the year are going to be like, you know what? The most valuable player in the league is a guy I know isn't the most valuable player on his own team. So that hurts Anthony Davis. For Steph, the Warriors are going to be fighting to make it to the playoffs. So now who are we talking about? You know what I mean? You're like running out of people. I think KD is a really good option, but I think Luka is going to average 30, 10, and 9. And if that team's a top 4 seed, that'll win the MVP.
I like to watch bad teams, Nick, but I have to invest in a bad player on a bad team. Or a good player on a bad team, I should say. Okay. So LaMelo Ball has come to my rescue. I'm all in on LaMelo Ball. I'm all in. I think he makes them, the Hornets, not must-see TV, but must stop to watch a little bit of them, which would be a new phrase here. But I don't know where you stand on LaMelo Ball, but I'm all in.
Well, you haven't asked me about gambling, so I'll bring it up a second time. Not that I have an issue. I bet a lot of money on him to win Rookie of the Year because I think people are going to consume the Hornets just like that. LaMelo's going to have nights where he's 3 for 17. Guess what? No one's going to know. But he's going to have nights where he shows up all over SportsCenter. Yep. And, SportsCenter, that's a thing people used to watch. First things first on FS1 is where they now get the sports information highlights. And he's going to be top of mind. The Warriors want to win, so I don't think Weissman is going to get, necessarily all the minutes, all the touches. And then I know Obi Toppin is like a popular pick with the Knicks. I don't know. I think LaMelo is going to have good numbers and good highlights, and it's not an overwhelmingly strong rookie class. I know that's unfair to say they haven't played a game yet, but in my eyes, it's not. I think LaMelo's a good pick. I think LaMelo also is going to be better than his brother. His
I
brother's
do
not a
too.
bad player, but I think he's going to be.
No, I do too. I mean, I think he's a legitimate matchup problem. He can get to the hoop, right hand, left hand. His shot, while it's too low for me, at least you have to at least acknowledge it on defense. But I like him. Now, the reason why I was going to have you on, believe it or not, was you said something about the Kansas City Chiefs where you talked about them. This might be the best road performance that we've seen. Now, I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually combing my hair and putting makeup on while I'm, listening to First Things First, because I like to see Jen and Wolf on there. The Chiefs are having historically one of the greatest road seasons of all time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so they're 8-0 on the road. 8 teams have ever done that. And what they've done on the road is beat preseason Super Bowl co-favorite Baltimore at the beginning of the year before Baltimore had shown some weaknesses, went to Miami, scored 30 consecutive points when Miami was playing at its best, went to Tampa when Tampa was playing its best, beat them, went to New Orleans, and I understand Breeze was obviously not himself, but controlled that game and take away what the Saints offense did. The Saints defense had been number 1 in football for 6 weeks, hung 32 on them, went to Oakland when Oakland was 6-2 or 6-3 and avenged that loss, their one loss of the year, and went to Buffalo and beat them. And their other 2 road games are the divisional games, Chargers game very early in the year and annihilating Denver. I mean, you've got 6 road victories over playoff caliber teams and 3 over the 5 Super Bowl co-favorites, essentially, or the 5 of the 6. So, yeah, I feel like it's hard to show me a season where someone had a better road performance.
These numbers concern me, though, Nick. And Tony Dungy was on First Hour, and he said, I think the Chiefs are bored. They won by 2, 4, 3, 6, 6, 3 in their last 6 games. They won the games. They allow teams to hang around. And that's what's interesting come playoff time for me.
So allow me, I'm going to glance down because I have this saved on my phone. The final margins are not overly impressive. What is impressive is they're never in jeopardy. So by that, I mean, the last time the Saints had the ball with a chance to take the lead, midway through the third quarter. For the Dolphins, it was in the second quarter. For the Bucks, it was in the first quarter. For the Bills, it was in the third quarter. For the Ravens, it was in the second quarter. So they certainly take their foot off the gas, get bored a lot, but they seem to, there hasn't been a moment in the last 2 months where it's like, man, if the Chiefs, they have to get this stop or they lose. The only game that came close to that was Carolina when Joey Sly was kicking a 67-yard field goal to try to beat them. Like, that wasn't a real thing. And I do think, Dan, the Saints game, listen, it shouldn't have been as close as it was, and the Chiefs are just addicted to letting teams backdoor cover. I mean, they've won 6 in a row and didn't cover any of the games. That never happens. But the Saints scored that touchdown with 2:06 left and 2 timeouts. Against every team in all of NFL history, you kick off and try to stop them. I do wonder if against the Chiefs, you have to consider onside kick there. If it's like, if we give it to Mahomes and he needs a first down, he's going to get it. Like, he's just going to get it. So I think this team is not going to lose until next season sometime.
He's Nick Wright, Fox Sports 1, and you've angered the bald community because you can grow hair. You wanted an edge and you shaved your head. And now you're kind of thumbing your nose at the bald Nick Wright. Here's poor Todd Fritz. Todd once looked like Mark Ruffalo. And take the hat off, Todd. Like, Nick should understand that, like,
Dan, somewhere in America, there is a bald man who loves the Los Angeles Clippers and lives in Buffalo, New York, and roots for the Bills. And if I ever show up missing, he's the number one subject. There's someone who all of my sports commentary and my follicle greatness, if we will, it represents everything he hates in the world. I don't think that's Todd Fritz, but
No,
I understand.
Fritzy's from Brooklyn, and he roots for the Broncos.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Broncos and Astros.
Yeah.
Astros fine. It's tough to win when you don't cheat, but it's fine. Broncos.
Next time you're on,
yeah,
we're going to show this right here. This look right there.
That's great. I hope you're wearing the same sweater.
You know what? Maybe you got a baby picture. Maybe you send in one, that your wife has one that like little baby hot takes. We'll just say Nick Wright's joining us for baby hot takes. Baby hot takes.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Nick. You
Bye.
too. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Nick. That's Nick Wright, Fox Sports 1. It's First Things First.